Zen begins at a point where there is nothing further to seek, nothing to be gained. Alan Watts. We could see the human condition as quenching a thirst with salt water, done repeatedly. We pursue goals that generally require us to pursue other goals. We satisfy our desires, only for the same ones to return, often even more potent. We are looking for a way out, a definitive end to our thirst, an ultimate contentment. Unfortunately, no path seems to lead us there, as if we're stuck in an endless cycle of dissatisfaction. But there's hope. Thousands of years ago, Buddha offered humanity a way out. Thus, Buddhism's philosophical tradition and religion came into existence. Over time, it spread and developed into several schools. One of these schools is Zen Buddhism, prevalent in East Asia. We are about to explore the core of Zen, its key concepts, and how it is practiced. By the end of this video, you'll have a deeper understanding of Zen Buddhism, how it can help quench your thirst by letting go of desires, and how it differs from other Buddhist schools in both theory and practice. The origins of Zen. Originating in India, Buddhism began spreading through China in the 1st century. Eventually, Chinese Chan Buddhism began to develop in the 6th century, becoming a distinct school of Mahayana Buddhism. It wasn't until the 12th century that Chan Buddhism was first introduced in Japan by a Japanese Buddhist priest named Ichie. Although his initial attempt to establish a lineage failed, other Chan disciples succeeded in bringing it to Japan, where it became known as Zen. Zen is simply the Japanese pronunciation of the Chinese word Chan. From this point forward, we will use the term Zen, as this discussion is based on the Japanese tradition. A unique feature of Zen Buddhism is its heavy influence from Taoism, a Chinese philosophy and religion, and to a lesser degree, Confucianism, a Chinese system of thought and behavior. Taoist works like the Tao Te Ching and the concept of Wu Wei are deeply ingrained in Zen. Zen flourished in Japan during the Kamakura period, becoming embedded in Japanese culture through practices such as the tea ceremony, calligraphy, and martial arts. Today, Zen is practiced worldwide, alongside other Buddhist traditions such as Theravada and Vipassana, both of which are quite popular in the West. However, compared to these traditions, Zen has a very different outlook on spiritual awakening and enlightenment, and how it is attained. Gradual versus sudden enlightenment. Within Buddhism, there is a distinction between two ways of enlightenment, the gradual and the sudden. The Theravada school, which is currently quite popular in the West, emphasizes that enlightenment, or nirvana, occurs gradually through extensive practice and adherence to the Eightfold Path. Zen, however, often describes enlightenment as arising from a sudden experience known as satori. It does not arrive slowly or over time. It is immediate and without warning. Imagine a thick layer of clouds between yourself and a sunny blue sky. In the gradual approach, the clouds dissolve one by one. In the sudden approach, however, the clouds are blown away instantly. It is an immediate event, a sudden and profound shift in experience. In the Zen tradition, this moment of insight is called satori. It is the brief lifting of the illusion of a separate, fixed self in reality. It offers a direct realization of the true nature of existence, an insight beyond mere intellect, so profound that the illusory sense of separation collapses. And when it collapses, it does so suddenly, like an explosion or the shattering of a mirror. Satori is letting go. It is the sudden dissolvement of all illusion. The water becomes crystal clear. The matrix is unveiled, so to speak, and one realizes how things truly are. Satori is also the starting point of the road to full liberation, enlightenment. The truth is clear, and what has been seen cannot be unseen. Now it is time to get oneself out of this mess once and for all. But where to begin? The present moment. The starting place of Zen is the present moment, as it is the present where everything happens. There is no time like now. It is when we experience, feel, think, and simply exist. In this regard, Zen aligns itself with Stoicism, Taoism, and other Buddhist schools. Reading Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, for example, reveals his deep appreciation for the present moment, seeing it as a gift and the only thing we truly have. Similarly, in Buddhist Dhamma talks, monks emphasize that clinging to past events or worrying about the future are distractions. They obscure the present, where both practice and experience take place. From the view of Zen Buddhism, reality unfolds itself in the present. Yet even though the present is always there, we cloud it with endless thoughts. Our minds create a barrier between the world and an illusory, separate self. That same mind is a master at analyzing, overthinking, planning, and fantasizing. Qualities that are useful tools for survival and progress, but also create suffering. They cut us off from direct experience. Fantasies, concepts, and judgments lead to hesitation and overthinking. We act from a place of ego, where the past and future abound, while the present becomes small. Alan Watts, scholar of Zen and author of The Way of Zen, describes it as follows. When life is empty with respect to the past and aimless with respect to the future, the vacuum is filled by the present, normally reduced to a hairline, a split second in which there's no time for anything to happen. Zen aims to expand the present moment by letting go of what obscures it, clearing the sky of clouds between ourselves and awareness. A traditional Japanese practice that embodies this is the tea ceremony, chanoyu, also known as the Way of Tea. Participants devote themselves fully to the ritual, honoring the present moment and recognizing it as unique, once in a lifetime, never to be experienced again. In the present, one can experience satori, the aha moment, the letting go of the ego's illusions. The big question is, how does one attain sudden awakening? The trap of seeking enlightenment. One of the greatest traps in Zen is seeking enlightenment itself. In Zen, Buddhahood is not attained. It is already there. The only thing standing in the way is the mind's illusions. One such illusion is the false sense of self, the idea that there is a separate, isolated me. It is fundamental to every school of Buddhism that there is no ego, no enduring entity which is the constant subject of our changing experiences. The ego exists in an abstract sense alone, being an abstraction from memory, somewhat like the illusory circle of fire made by a whirling torch. This illusion becomes problematic when one desires enlightenment. The ego seeks it, but it cannot attain it, because enlightenment entails the dissolution of the ego. However, the ego cannot think beyond itself. It cannot create a concept of enlightenment because enlightenment is beyond thought. It is like a bully looking forward to a party he isn't invited to. The party is enjoyable precisely because he is absent. His presence would ruin it. As Dharma Master Linji put it, true nature is mind, the mind is Buddha, the Buddha is Dharma. One should not use the mind to seek mind, the Buddha to seek Buddha, nor the Dharma to seek Dharma. Therefore, Dharma students should suddenly realize no mind and suddenly attain stillness and silence. The mind cannot grasp the mind. It is like a sword trying to cut itself, teeth trying to bite themselves. Thus, from the viewpoint of Zen, when you seek Buddhahood, you lose it. The very act of grasping prevents enlightenment. The essence of Zen is not a collection of ideas or concepts. It is about direct experience. It is something beyond words and impossible to fully grasp with a thinking mind. This experience is not something one can seek, because one cannot even comprehend what one is looking for. So perhaps the best way to describe Zen is silence. Thank you for watching.